went into the room, and the creature was gone. And they had both seen the creature go in, and the creature was gone, and then the old man was dead. And then so the rumor was that the devil had come back to take his soul when he passed away.
Oh, wow. So, tomorrow, hey, what can I say? People, you need to look again. Again, the name of the series of the books, again, it's Total Ninja Raccoons.
The Totally Ninja Raccoons.
Okay,
and if you just Google, it is the internet age, so if you just Google the Totally Ninja Raccoons, a lot of the titles will come up. There's a YouTube clip of me talking about the Ninja Raccoons, and that will lead you to, if you can't remember the name of the bookstore, you just Google Totally Ninja Raccoons, and you will come across them.
And if you somehow forget to, you can actually go onto our website, send me an email. I'll give you a link to get to them, and that way they can get a hold of you. Great,
I will do that. And then we had so much fun talking, and I forgot to tell you about the new. You can go on Facebook. They have their own Facebook page, the Totally Ninja Raccoons, where you can see. I post new information about the Ninja Raccoons, new contests. I do a lot of small festivals, so they will have any events that I'm coming up at. So if you're anywhere, like I'm going to Baltimore here at the end of the month, I'm going to Harrisburg. So the chances of you coming by Wellsboro might not be as good, but if you're in Baltimore or Harrisburg, you can come by and check me out and talk to me in person.
Okay, and maybe get your autograph.
Get my autograph.
Okay, Kevin, I enjoyed having you on, and when that new book comes out, get a hold of me and send me a copy, please.
I will.
Okay, my friend, you have a great weekend, and thank you for being on Night Dreams.
You bet. Thanks, Gary.
Okay, you take care now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, what can I say? I mean, kids nowadays, they just, I don't know. I blame it on the internet. I blame it on computers. I blame it on the parents. Kids don't read like they used to. And it's so bad because if they grow up and they can't use their imagination, they are missing a lot when they get older. Come on. How many of you have fantasized through the years on things? And, you go to bed at night and have a good dream of a book you read. And it kind of is like a motion picture in your brain. You put the little pieces together, just like old-time radio, where they had those radio plays where, you didn't see what was going on, but they had sound effects and the actors read their little things. But it drew you into it, and then you closed your eyes, and you could see that detective pulling the gun out on that bad guy. Or, you could see him walking up that flight of stairs because you'd hear that footsteps, I should say. People are growing up, and they're losing a lot. They're losing a lot because a lot of the books that it's coming out nowadays, I'll be honest with you, are crap. And I'm sorry to say that. Well, anyway, I don't know if anybody, because I normally don't take call-ins. The past year, I've only taken in call-ins maybe once or twice, so I don't know if it's going to go over. We have most of our bulk of our listeners are, on-demand play and replay, so we'll see what happens here. But let's give this a try here anyway.
The spooky Friday night call line is now open. Let's hear your scariest story. Call 1-253-203-6695.
And you're on the line with Gary on Night Dreams. Who do we have?
Hi, Gary. It's Karen.
Hi, Karen. How's your evening going? I noticed you've been chatting with me tonight. I being a paranormal show, I wanted to kind of take a little break away tonight, into maybe a little bit of paranormal about books for kids for a change.
Yeah, I love some of the paranormal books for kids. even though I'm almost 50.
Oh, you're a young
I
kid.
still like them.
You're a young kid.
Hmm?
You're a young kid. Well,
I'm a big kid.
well, I'm a big old kid. How's that? But a scary story. What do you have?
I have a story that I've written, taken from one of the paranormal dreams I have. I have dreams that sometimes they come true, and so I write them down. I keep them in a diary, and I made a story out of one of them.
Okay, well, let's hear about it. Okay. I think some of the best stories have come from people, having dreams or having experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So it starts out, I arrive at a very large farmhouse in the middle of a place like Kentucky. The paint on the house is weather-worn and faded and peeling like an old birch tree. The season is fall, and leaves are all over the ground like candy from a piñata. No nearby neighbors. The yard all around the house is very large and open except for a few trees here and there. The husband and wife are struggling with making a living and are in deep despair over their missing son and the family dog. They just disappeared from within the house without a trace. The local police and townspeople think the parents killed them and dumped them somewhere far away and desolate, or they wandered off when nobody was watching them. The parents insist he is still in the house, that the house ate him and the dog because they can still hear the boy crying and the dog whimpering and barking sometimes. And I'm a paranormal investigator and have been requested by the family to try and prove and or disprove their claims. I am an empath, psychic dreamer, touch no, and will do all I can to help find this child. The husband is a large man in a dirty white T-shirt and brown work pants, held up around his large middle by a worn brown leather belt. The mother has long brown hair streaked with gray that hasn't seen a salon in decades. She looks tired and older than her 30-something years. We sit on the couch talking about the boy and the disappearance when all of a sudden we hear a dog barking. It seems to be coming from everywhere inside the house, like an echo that just comes from everywhere. I wander around the living room and kitchen trying to pinpoint the barking, trying to feel the animal's presence. In the kitchen, the wife explains she saw a creature within the floor looking back at her as if it were looking through a window. The floor is tilted and shiny, so I am thinking her imagination may have conjured a delusion from a stain or a reflection. As I walk from the kitchen back into the living room, I can feel a tingling in my legs, like goosebumps shoot up all over me. Instantly, I know there is an evil in the house. I call to the dog loudly as if I were outside, in a demanding, authoritative voice. Suddenly, a small white poodle dog runs out from behind the couch right to me. I move the couch with their help, but nothing is there. No holes, no dog crate, no leashes, nothing. I walk around the house calling for the boy, but I hear nothing. After a while, I hear him crying faintly, getting weaker and weaker. I keep calling to him. I enter the kitchen, and standing at the sink as the mother had done before, I look down, and there it is, a weird, bald, slimy, thin creature staring back at me from within the floor. It was then a sudden knowledge came over me as if sent from its thoughts to mine, and these creatures steal life forms to use as a kind of battery to keep them alive. The father runs outside sobbing. I start yelling for the boy, much more forceful and angry now, demanding they let him go. The more I demand, the more I can feel a power shift inside me. I push harder and yell louder until I am almost screaming from every fiber of my body. Suddenly, the boy is sitting on the floor in front of me, dark circles under his teary eyes. I snatch him up as fast as I can before those things can change their minds and take him back again. I run outside to his father and thrust the boy at him, tears streaming down my face. I tell him, do not take that boy back in the house. They will take him again, and you will never get him back. Burn that house to the ground. It must be burned, and no other house built on the spot ever again. The end.
Oh, wow. And that came to you like in a dream, or how did that come to you?
Yeah, I just, the details, I just basically, I wrote down out of memory of what I saw, and then the rest of it is what actually happened in the dream.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wish I had that type of vivid dream. When I hate to say it, when I was young, I would have dreams of naked women, in a pond in Hawaii with a waterfall. And nowadays, I have dreams of my dog either urinating on me because it sleeps with us in bed, or I have a dream that I crashed one of my motorcycles. That's about all I have at my age. And I don't have any.
God.
Yeah, well,
I have dreams like movies.
Oh, yeah. I am so stuck here. About a year ago, I discovered Comet. Came on our cable network where they show all the sci-fi movies that are so bad that they're actually good. Mm-hmm. And, I kind of like watching old Frankenstein and Dracula and all these other weird movies.
Last time I watched a Frankenstein movie, I had just gotten kicked in the head by a horse that day. And my parents, the doctor told my parents to keep me awake all night, so I'm laying on the couch with an ice pack watching the old black and white Frankenstein movie. Well, I was ecstatic.
We have too many horses. We used to have 3, but 1 passed on. But many how do you call it? The vet told me one time after I got hit somewhere. I won't tell you where because you can figure the height of a mini. But I couldn't believe a horse could, especially a mini, could kick that hard, and the vet said, do you realize they have more of a kicking power than a full-size horse?
Yeah. They're more compact, but they've got the same muscle.
I know.
And
yeah, I know. The bad problem is when you have minis, you got to be really careful in the hay you feed them because they can colic, and that's what happened to one of our horses. So, because their intestines are a lot smaller. But I don't know, how many, do you have horses now, or did you have horses?
No, I actually never owned a horse.
Just got kicked in the head by one, though.
I was like 5 years old, and I wandered up the street to a neighbor like 6 houses away, and they had horses in the back. And I wandered through their yard and out back and under the fence, and I walked up behind the horse and just wham, right in the side of my head.
Well, I never had... I got kicked somewhere else where I could barely make it into the house after that. But, when I was a little kid, my brother, we used to have a property, or my grandparents used to have, acreage. And my aunt used to have acreage on a place called Woodby Island. And they had probably about 50 acres of all, woods and stuff like that. They had some cattle. And I think I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. And my brother talked me into getting on this cow and try riding it as a horse. And the cow, didn't do anything for the first minute or two, and then all of a sudden it decided it didn't want me on that on his back anymore. And when he threw me off, I landed on the electric fence on top of it all. Oh. So that I never rode a horse after that. I never even thought about riding a horse. That's why we got minis. I think that somehow riding a cow when you're 6 years old and getting thrown on an electric fence is good enough.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
that would be enough for me too.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank you for all the support you do on for our show on Facebook, and
you're welcome.
I want you to private message me tonight or tomorrow. I probably won't read it tomorrow. I've been up for like 24 hours straight. I will, message me on there. Give me your address, and I'll send you out something.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, tell your friends about Night Dreams, and you have a great weekend.
Okay. You too.
And thanks for that story.
You're welcome.
Okay. Night.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. Scary stories, I can tell you so many of them, but to remember them all and put them all together, I don't know. To me, the scariest story I ever had was when I was a little kid. My brother, one day, my parents were gone for the weekend, convinced me that somebody broke out of the jail who killed somebody. He has a long butcher knife, and he's on a motorcycle.